What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Tobin Gregory Group Show. I'm Jay Gregory, one of your hosts here with Craig Tobin. I got my camera's reversed, so I'm pointing this way where you are, but it's okay. Anyway, it's messing me up. Been a couple weeks, guys, since we've been here. We've had some sickness. We had Thanksgiving. We had some other things happen. So sorry for not keeping our promise of every week, but we'll try not to jam up this week with a bunch of useless information. We'll make sure it's fun. If this is your first time here, welcome. Check out our other videos. We keep this 15 minutes long/short. We do talk about important stuff in the mortgage industry, what's happening, and then some sports. And then me and Craig like to have some fun. So at least we enjoy this if no one else does. Craig, how was Thanksgiving, man?
Thanksgiving was great. It's too short always. I feel like Black Friday, not as many people out there as normal. I think people realize with all these, doorbuster deals starting 2 weeks before Thanksgiving now, it changes the whole ebb and flow of everything. But it was nice to get out and walk and just do a bunch of stuff and, create some commerce out there. Get out there, buy homes, people. This is how you get the economy going.
For sure. I always like this holiday because it's pretty much guaranteed a 4-day weekend I worked, of course, through some of it, but it's always a Thursday. Everything shuts down. Friday, people are shopping. They're not really focused on what we do for the most part. So turns out to be a nice 4-day stretch for us most times. So today, just chatting with Craig, I think one of the things to focus on is going to be quality of lending, of working with a loan officer. And I've got 2 examples to bring up as far as working with someone that's actually licensed, that has to go through the testing and licensing and keeping the continuing education going and not just falling under an umbrella. I've got a closing coming up today where the individual I'm working with was initially denied. They went under contract on a home that they were denied for by their lender. It's actually less. That contract was less than the home they're closing on now. But in the process, this gentleman reached out to me to run figures, and I quickly noticed what had happened, where the lending entity they were working with did not know how to calculate bonuses, is what it came down to. They took the whole year pay and averaged the last 2-year pay, which reduced this gentleman's income because the bonuses being split out and the bonuses averaged appropriately actually gave him more money because he was making more money in bonuses over time. If you just take an average of income in that situation, it's going to reduce income, which reduces buying power. So anyways, we got him and his wife they're getting married next week, actually, into the home they wanted at the price point they wanted when they were denied by another lender. And had they not reached out just to get a second opinion or have someone else look at the details after that denial, they would have had to buy something, and I'm not joking, $100,000 lower than where we ended up getting them with where they wanted to be. So the quality and knowing that you're working with someone that knows how to look at the details, and with us and with our company specifically, we have 2 and 3 sets of eyes looking at every loan before we actually get you out there looking at homes, which really helps us make sure nothing's missed, no details missed. That will either cause issues or restrict your buying power. And then we also just got a contract we love our veterans. I just got another contract in for a VA loan. Again, the gentleman was denied for his purchase. He's moving from Aurora, Colorado, not California. He's moving from Aurora to the East Coast, and he was denied by his lender he was working with for the new purchase he's under contract on. And I feel like that lender didn't even try to underwrite them because they just looked at the lending parameters and said, hey, this person doesn't qualify, because they have very high debt to income ratio at 70%. But VA takes in a lot of factors, not just credit score, not just DTI, but they also take into account money down and a lot of other parameters that can approve an individual. And I was able to work the file with them, even at 70% debt to income ratio, get him an approval. It makes sense in this situation for him because he has 401ks and some annuities and stuff that pays him every month on top of just normal retirement income. So it still makes sense for him to make the move and purchase this one. But just, guys, if you're out there and you get a denial and something doesn't feel right, I think here's the big thing. If you don't feel like you're being told the truth, or you get some kind of weird feeling on the back end of working in a loan, or you feel like you're not getting honest answers, reach out and get a second opinion somewhere. Because our industry is notorious for just hiding things and making things seem like, oh, well, X, Y, Z, when really the lender may have messed up, but they may not know what they're doing. So this is just for anybody out there. If you just feel like something's off, get a second opinion.
Yeah, just because there's a lot of producers out there that may produce 50, 100 million a year in production, and they might be great originators that have a team behind them doing a lot of the work, but it doesn't mean that originator necessarily knows what they're talking about all the time. So, like Jake said, getting a second opinion is important, especially if you're getting the runaround. Typically, Jake or I can issue a pre-approval same day. And it's just a matter of knowing what to look for on your pay stubs, W-2s, any income documents, and your credit report and things of that nature. And that way we can go through it with you as well and say, hey, here's why you're going to be approved. You have a great ratio here. You have this, you have assets and all these other things. Be very wary of people that are trying to get you off the phone quickly and not trying to go through things with you. Typically, there's a lot of people out there that just care about getting the origination in and getting it moving forward. And then what they'll do is they'll string you along because they're going to try and get it done, but they don't know up front that they can get it done. When Jake and I, we have a ton of experience, and not that we're the best loan officers in the world, certainly the best in our state, but realistically, when you have, you can research people, see reviews on people, and pretty sure if you read reviews on us, you'll see that we are pretty knowledgeable in what we do and are considered experts in this field. So it is important to speak with people, especially if you are not quite 100%, because there's also little tidbits like with a VA loan, for example, that we can bring up, where if you're not exempt and you're not considered 10% or more disabled by the VA, well, the VA is going to charge you a funding fee, and that number will change based on if you go 100% financing or if you put 10% down. And the funding fee could save you 1 or 1.5% if you put a certain amount of money down. And if you're buying a $600,000 house, well, we could possibly save you 10 grand. So it might be worth putting some money down if you have it. So just make sure you discuss things like that with someone else, and obviously would like you to discuss it with us. But, make sure you're talking to someone else that's pretty reputable in the industry. Do your research and find someone, hopefully there's other people that have done transactions with people that are reputable, and you can get a referral that way. Things that are not reputable, the Dallas Cowboys. While they do have 2 wins in a row, including a beatdown of the Giants on Thanksgiving. Awful. Watching these football games nowadays, I will say, and I'm going to give props here to Jake's team. So in one of the most entertaining football games of the year, I love me some football in the snow.
Mm-hmm.
That is what football is all about. So if you've never seen a game in Buffalo, I've been to Buffalo for a game. Wings are good. But if you watch that game and you watch Buffalo in the snow and Josh Allen, I mean, that guy could play on any planet in any conditions. He's like the Adam Vinatieri of quarterbacks. That dude could kick in the worst conditions and make it all the time. Josh Allen just continues to impress me with all the stuff he's doing there, and takes his team on his back and does everything. That hook and ladder play was
fun, man. I love seeing that. I paused. I'm
like
Kelsey, come here.
It's like Sandlot football. It's just watching, like, they're out there just having fun. Yeah. And they're just, they're killing it right now. I think Buffalo. We
need Kansas City to take an L. Whoever is left on their list, somebody's got to give them an L. And then if
that doesn't happen.
If we can get home field advantage and then it just snows until the Super Bowl, we're in good shape. That's our plan.
That is the key. So the Eagles, they squeaked into Baltimore. Justin Tucker, dude, I'm sorry.
Oh my gosh.
It is time to wrap it up and take over now. I know he was part-time at Royal Farms. You see him in all the chicken commercials. Mm-hmm. He's got to go full-time at Royal Farms, see if they have some management slot there or something. That dude cannot kick field goals anymore. And great kicker, potentially one of the greatest of all time. These last 2 years, he's shown his age, kind of like me and my gray hair. But I think what it's time for him is to retire and go out on top, because he's struggling, and the Ravens really should not have lost that game. They were winning, missing an extra point. He missed 2 field goals. The Eagles squeak out another victory. For all my Eagles friends and fans out there watching this, yes, a win's a win. And yes, you guys keep on winning, and that's wonderful. Eventually, your number's going to come up, because Hurts is still not great. He's a good running back as a quarterback, but he's still not great. Saquon Barkley, he's magic. I mean, that guy's incredible. I will give him props. That guy is the closest thing to Barry Sanders I've seen in a long time. He's got ridiculous moves, and he's very shifty. Eagles' offensive line has remained pretty healthy through the year, which, as we all know, that's important when it comes to winning things. I do think Detroit is probably going to beat them with home field advantage in the playoffs. That's what I'm rooting for anyway, as a Cowboy / quasi was a Cowboy fan. But I think we could see a Detroit Buffalo Super Bowl. I
Maybe.
know
You got to get Kansas City when it comes to playoff time. They just win, and they're a lot like the Eagles too. It's just they just win. They've won some games by 3. They've won some games they shouldn't have won.
I agree. They win ugly, and sometimes you have to win ugly. If it is a Detroit Buffalo Super Bowl, the cool thing is there'll probably be a lot of seats available, because no one wants to see that game. So you probably
might be going to that one. If they're in the Super Bowl, I'm going to figure it out.
But besides people in Buffalo and Detroit, which there's not a lot of people in Buffalo, but there'll be some seats. I don't think it'll be very expensive like it would be if it was 2 big markets. Right. And it would be entertaining to watch that game, I think. Detroit, Gibbs and Montgomery are exciting running backs to watch. Amon-Ra St. Brown, I just like this of his name. Goff, I mean, I'm still not sold on that dude. But and that's kind of where I think Buffalo with Josh Allen would be in a better spot. But he still has to prove he can beat the likes of a Joe Burrow and a Patrick Mahomes, which no one seems to know how to do. Hockey, my New York Rangers have taken a slump. They just decided they wanted to lose a bunch of games and really pissed me off. The NBA, once again, no one cares. Sorry for offending those that do. Any other sports? No, baseball is off season, which is my favorite time of baseball. That's the only sports news I have, Jake.
Well, back to the contact sport of lending. Should anybody have any questions, if there's any topics you guys want to hear, I think today's main thing was, if you get a gut feel that something might be off, just go get a second opinion. We would love to help and make sure that you're in the best position possible. But even if it's not us, it's a complicated thing that we do, and it's not easy. That's why there's not a lot of us that do this. But go with your gut. If you feel like something is off, ask another question. Ask your realtor if they have another recommendation. Reach out to us. Even if it's not, we can't give rate advice in states we're not licensed with, and there's certain things we can't do. But generically, most loans all work the same within state parameters. So we're happy to give you feedback or information that can help you. We also have other people in our company that are in other states we could refer you to for a second opinion. So we want to help any way that we can. Because there are a lot of people in this industry that may not be good at what they do, we just want to make sure everybody's protected as much as possible. So if you need anything or have questions, let us know, Craig.
Also, don't forget, make sure you guys, if you have not already subscribed and liked, we are nearing 1 million subscribers. I think we are 999,000 and about 700 away. But when we do get there, there is the potential for the Cybertruck giveaway. So make sure you're one of those subscribers.
Oh my gosh. I'm gonna have to edit that last part out.
That's all right. This could be in the outtakes portion then. But it's look, if proceeds go to charity, it's compliant. So we're gonna make sure that we try and get up there with some new topics for you guys. Once again, we did promise in the new year we're gonna have some special guests. We'll release a schedule pretty soon about who and when that will be. But look, I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your week, and
we'll see you next time.